Okay. Welcome back to the NFT Talks podcast, and today's guest, a long-awaited guest. Her name is Brenda, aka CryptoMom, DeFi and NFT Advisor expert. She's gone from a former banker to being a heavyweight in the NFT space and DeFi space. So I'm happy to have you on. I know you've been doing a lot of interesting things, Brenda.
Thank you so much, Sean. I'm really finally thankful that I'm able to actually make time. And, we talked before, last year. It was a great conversation. And then next thing I know, everything went bonkers when my interview with Business Insider found out I was leaving my traditional banking job to go crypto full time. So
yeah, that's real interesting. You know what? Normally what I do, Brenda, is I normally do like, okay, I'll introduce yourself, an introduction about you and whatnot. But what I want to do is I'm change this last minute. I read your tweet, your pin tweet. So I want to read that out. So anyone that already follows you already, okay, they might have read it already. But anyone that doesn't follow you, I want to just kind of read it out. So I think it just kind of gives a good perspective of where you come from to what this has done for you. So it says, my biggest flex this year was walking away from my banking career of 16 years to go into crypto full-time, retired my parents, and now my goal is to retire my siblings and get them working for themselves. NFTs and DeFi are breaking down general curses of poverty. Now, I think that's an amazing story for you, but it's amazing in general, a powerful message to what is going on now and the possibilities. So on the back of that, I'd like you to kind of like introduce yourself and say where you come from and then leading to getting to here.
Oh, thank you. That tweet, when I sent it out, was just a Saturday afternoon. Next thing I know, my daughter says, "Mom, your tweet went viral," and I was like, "Oh wow!" That was really unexpected, and I mean, I was thankful that the NFT and the DeFi space actually, they have been very welcoming. That's the best space I've been in all of Twitter. So I actually was a traditional banker for 16 years. That's where that was my career. I was going to retire at 62 or 65, like most people. I actually, I'm gonna go back, and I use the word actually a lot. My daughter says, "Mommy, use actually on every sentence."
Well, we'll get used to it. We'll get used to it. Don't worry.
So I grew up in Kenya. I spent 18 years of my life in Kenya, and at 18, I went to an exchange program to Germany. In Germany, I met my husband, who's the lover of my life. We've been married 24 years. We had both our children in Germany. He was based in Germany. He was a soldier in Germany. So we lived there for 10 years. I speak fluent German. For those that don't know, ich spreche Deutsch.
Is that GM in German?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm multilingual, English, German, Swahili, Luya is my mother language. So I love that. And my parents actually, they live in London. They live not too far from, it's not Kent. Is it the name has disappeared out of my head.
I'm from Birmingham, so I mean I know London, but I wouldn't be able to kind of like pin the dots together. There's how you areas where. So I'm the wrong person to ask. So yeah, in London.
Harlow. So my brother is in Harlow.
Okay.
My brother is in Harlow, and my parents are not too far away from there.
Okay.
But anyways, cool. So I have my family in England as well. I just know they changed addresses, so I didn't know where they are. The last one I haven't been since 2019. But anyway, to cut a long story short, I got into crypto via my daughter, who went to study computer science and just decided computer science had too many white dudes, and she didn't feel like she belonged. So I'm just gonna veer off and do something else. But she liked the arts as well. So she likes computer science. She likes the technology, but she just wanted it to be a little bit more fun. And I kept telling her, for me, technology was so important because I see it as a very disruptive a way to bring young people, underrepresented minorities into industries or into positions that we would never actually have if we didn't go through that route. So I pushed her through STEM. I pushed her sister through STEM. Both my daughters were in STEM classes. So that was disappointing when she told me she didn't like computer science. I was like one of those African moms when, have you ever watched those Nigerian movies where, they collapse?
With the music in the background, it's all dramatic. Yeah.
I'm like, why are you doing this to me? I've worked so hard. I just want you to just pay me back for my years of putting you through college. Like, just say yes to computer science. I'm glad she actually decided. She's hard-headed like her mama. So
okay.
So she decided, actually she came back to San Antonio, tried computer science at a different college, and she started looking at blockchain technology. And when she looked at blockchain technology, she was looking at, we weren't even thinking about Bitcoin in terms when she was researching blockchain technology. She just saw how disruptive it was going to be. And she saw industries in Kenya that were adopting a blockchain technology in agriculture. At that time, they weren't even talking about the arts. It was just, for Bitcoin and for mining and different aspects that, that it was going to disrupt. And she said, Mom, you're in finance, but you definitely need to look into blockchain technology. So that's how the whole thing started. And when I started biting, I did not stop. I kept going.
So Brenda, do you kind of like thank yourself because you pushed her into computering, that she kind of pushed herself out to it to give you that advice to go into blockchain, to you ending up here. So it's still your doings, wasn't it?
It was still my doing. It was still me being an African mom. Like, you're going to find something in technology. I don't know what you're going to find. Because, the thing is, Sean, you got to think about it. In the 80s, when the computer was, started, we were in Africa. We had no idea about computers until even into the early 90s when the internet was, when the internet came about. And when the internet came about, we had no idea until in the 2000s. So we had that 10-year difference where we are always catching this news very late, this disruptive technology in Africa or in other areas that we were always 10 years behind. So for me to find out about blockchain technology right at its core, even though I missed out on Bitcoin in 2009, I was like, I can still take advantage of the technology. And one guy that I really, was watching all his YouTube videos was Vitalik, obviously the founder. Yeah, I think he's a genius. The founder of Ethereum, and I just delved into it and dug into it. And I said, oh my God, I know Bitcoin is disruptive, but Ethereum's about to blow people's minds. Yeah. So that's how I went into it. And thinking I was taking fiat classes and learning, of course, in banking, it's boring. How fiat came about. It's been about for the last 100 years. I'm like, you all need something new.
So let me ask you, Brenda, and based on, obviously you got been in banking for 16 years, you obviously got banking friends. Now, I'm interested to hear what kind of conversations I had based on what you're doing now. Is everyone warming towards the idea, or everyone's a bit like, putting their nose up to what crypto is and NFTs and whatnot?
Yeah, let me tell you what, it's been interesting. So at first I spoke about NFTs because they don't know what NFTs are. So I was telling them things they don't, because if you tell them crypto in banking, you're doing training that's telling you crypto is used for money laundering. They still, tell you be leery. And I'm over here when I started, I was actually moving my crypto from Coinbase to my bank. And I was like, I'm going to be smart about it. I'm not moving it to my bank because they're going to start wondering, where is she getting all this crypto from? Yeah. And they're going to start thinking, it's, because they just think it's used for illicit stuff. And they don't have any idea that it's just, it's money that is, that comes from, high APY or from mistaking or from me finding out different tokens. So I didn't tell my coworkers. I just told them my daughter and I started a company.
You want to explain what it is? It's just bringing in money.
Yeah, it brings in good money. And when I told my manager I was going to, I was putting in my 2-week notice, she said, "Are you sure?" are you going to be okay? I say, yeah, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be really okay. So the news article hit all of them by surprise, all of them. Okay, yeah, so my banking, the directors were actually having meetings. Like, did you all know she was into crypto?
Oh gosh. So there's the talk of the town, but looking into crypto, when obviously you told your introduction to crypto and the blockchain technology, but when did you actually come across NFTs? And did you understand it straight away based on your knowledge before, like for blockchain and crypto, or did you still have to kind of think, okay, I understand it, but you had to dig a bit more?
It was a rough process. 2020, when I went in deeply into, I just started with Coinbase. Everybody has Coinbase, so I was into Coinbase. But my daughter and her nerd friends, she's got her nerd friends. They were getting into altcoins, and 2020 was DeFi summer, right?
Yeah.
There are tokens like the ones Andre Kranye was launching, which was Yarn Finance, that eventually made a lot of millionaires. A lot of my daughter's friends became millionaires from that token. And I said, okay, I'm bored with Coinbase. Can you guys help me fix my stuff up so I can get me a wallet so I can also get this altcoin? And these young people, they kind of they look at you like, Mom, are you sure you know what you want to get? Are you sure you want to get in those telegrams? Because they be vulgar sometimes. I'm like, I'm getting those telegrams and I'm going to say I'm CryptoMom because my daughters are both here. So I just used to, they would tell me a token, about a token that's about to launch. And they would be surprised that I'll be in the telegram before they even get in. They're like, oh, my mom's in that telegram. Or then my daughters will be like, I'm not getting in that telegram because my mom's in there.
So were you active? Clearly, I mean, so what you think is different? Is it, you reckon it's because you come from a banking background, you're interested into finance already, that makes you look into crypto? Because I'd say I'm generalizing here, so this is not me saying, but when I speak to my mom, she ain't interested in trying to learn about crypto. She might go, oh, would you know about it? So on, I trust you. Can you do this to me? And so on. But she isn't diving in herself and trying to learn new technology and what an NFT is and how the blockchain works. Why are you doing it? Is it just a case of that's your interest, or?
And then it's funny that you say that, because I was on Twitter Spaces yesterday, and one of the guys who's done really well, made 6 figures with NFTs, he said he tried to explain it to his mom, and he's like, his mom don't even want to hear it. A lot of moms I hear I'm being told they just are not, because we are so used to what we do, we don't like change. We're really stuck in our ways. When my daughter presented it to me, my traditional mind went straight to 20 years from now. I started thinking the possibilities of 20 years from now. We're not going to see banknotes a lot, especially when COVID happened. And people are like, oh, they're not, you have to wear a glove to give someone a banknote and all this other stuff. And I was like, why are they doing that? Don't they know about digital currencies? You really just need to send it via your wallet. So I was thinking 20, 30, 40 years ahead, because of my banking mindset. So for most people who are not maybe because they don't have that finance background, they're not thinking that far ahead. So that's what made me just be like, okay, you know what? I'll just be that grandma who's going to be doing crypto in the next 20 years when all grandmas don't know what crypto is. I'm going to be that one. But yeah, so in fact, the person who told us about NFTs was a friend in 2020. He was telling us to get CryptoPunks back then at $300. I was like, I really don't like how those things look. So I don't care.
I mean, it's hindsight, isn't it? It's all good saying. At the time, I couldn't understand where you would have thought at the time. Like, so you can't really kick yourself in the foot for that.
I actually did kick myself.
Okay, just a little bit. Don't give yourself a hard time.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to buy CryptoPunks at 300. I had the opportunity to buy Bored Apes at 0.08. My friend bought about 5.
Me too. So, I had the opportunity. I just try not to think about it.
But Yeah, let's think about the good opportunities coming, right?
But I think, Brenda, I think it's so important for you to, I mean, I know we touched on, we joked about it in regards to demographic, but it's so important for people to see people that look like themselves in the space, diversity, a female, a black female, an older female in the space, and doing so well and doing so much great things, and showing that it's showing. The reason why I think it's important, because it's showing that it's level playing grounds for everybody. Like, I'm not ahead of you because you've gone in there, everyone's had their time, you spend your time and you learn, and you can take advantage of the opportunities. And I feel like people like yourself, me, other people need to come in and show, like, this is the chance in a lifetime, that if we miss the internet, this is the new thing. Like, this may not happen again. So we need to take advantage. So I want you to touch on how important do you think that is in regards to what you've seen coming from a banking background to what is going on now, to the opportunity and how you see the space. What's your approach?
Glad you mentioned that. I've noticed that when my story went viral, most people who reached out to me was so excited. They were like, oh my God, a Black woman in crypto, and she's actually doing well, because the ones they've seen, or the stories they hear is about crypto being a scam, people losing money to Bitcoin, and everybody's so cautious about it. So for you to see, someone, a female especially, because this industry also has been, at the forefront of it was all, white male, and a lot of people that got invested into Bitcoin early that were actually doing well, or even Ethereum, were all, mostly 90% was white males. So to see a woman of color and doing well, they have really sent me some messages that have really humbled me, like how inspired they are. Moms telling their daughters, just make sure you follow her on Twitter, or you just join her Twitter spaces, because she's not only doing this by herself, but she's doing it with her daughters. So we've been championed as a family, as a crypto family. And that brings me to tell you, I have the documentary. There's a documentary that reached out to us from a big news, big station, and they want to follow us for 4 days, a day in our lives, or because they don't see this too often. And when I left my banking job, I just was like, I just want to do this for me and most of the underrepresented, all the underrepresented that don't see the opportunity. They will see it when I get in, and I knew I was going to do well. I had no doubts, if or ends about it. I just knew I was going to do well. And I think that's the mindset most people need to have when they get into crypto.
Yeah, I agree. You got to have some kind of vision. You definitely got to have belief. Things are fast paced. Things are changing. You got to be open to learn. You got to be open-minded. Not everything's going to make not everything's going to make sense. I'll be honest with you. Not everything makes sense to me. Like, as much as I spend all my time with everything makes sense.
Yes, me too. I'm like, my daughter says, Mom, there's something on Avalanche you need to get. I'm like, how do I get Avalanche? I'm only still trying to figure out Ethereum and Binance, and now you want to throw Avalanche at me. And then I figured out Solana. I got to get Phantom Wallet. And so I got the Phantom Wallet, and now I got to do Avalanche, because this other token is really good on Avalanche. So it's really interesting how fast you adapt when you know that this is just, once in a lifetime opportunity.
So let's go into the more so onto the NFT space of it.
Sorry about that.
No problems. Tell me about your introduction in regards to getting to the advisor level. Like, this is one thing I'm questioning. How do you get to become an NFT advisor?
That's interesting. Right? Everybody's like, how? It's so last year, 2020, I met the organizers of the BTC Miami, and they asked us to volunteer. I was like, I'm not doing anything. I'll just take a week or two from my work, and I'm gonna go. So when I got over there, they loved my personality. They were like, okay, you're just gonna walk all the big wigs on stage. So I had the opportunity to walk all the big wigs on stage. I was, making sure Floyd Mayweather them are taking care of before they go on stage. They got their water, they got everything. So everybody was like, who's that over there? That's CryptoMom. And then they asked, people ask me, what's your background? And I'm like, finance. So a lot of these people that were going on stage, I kept in touch with some of them, founders of projects. And they saw how active I am on Twitter and the kind of answers I was giving and the questions and the information I was giving to projects or even people, just my tweets. So I was having a lot of them approach me because my daughter had did a NFT collaboration for Mick Jagger, the Mick Jagger NFT. Okay. She was involved in that, and that project was bringing other NFT projects to her, and she would be like, I'm actually doing this with my mom. I'm not doing this. Everybody sees me, but my mom's actually in the background. So that's how it came about. Yeah. So the projects would reach out to my daughter and she would say, actually, my mom is the one that's giving me all this information. So then they started reaching out to me, and then came Boss Beauties. Boss Beauties was a really big one. Then came Women and Weapons. Then it came Yes, I Believe. And then they just started, and then some, a few celebrities started reaching out like, hey, can you advise us on this? Can you advise us on that? So I was like, okay, I guess I'm an expert. So that's
why
that's
not? I mean, because I'll be honest with you, I'm always very wary about using expert and so on. And the reason why I say that is because things change so much, so quickly. So I would say that how can you be an expert? But regardless of it, you're establishing a space, and you got the experience, where the reason a lot of people with experience working on projects, having knowledge of crypto, having knowledge of finance, so I feel you've got a good combination of everything, and obviously you're delivering, because you see that you've got the Women and Weapons. That was Gary Vee was tweeting.
Yeah, he loves that. He loves that project. Yeah.
And it was you and your two daughters, it's Cynthia and Amani.
Yeah, I've been on all the projects. I've been on all the
projects. So it's a powerhouse. Like it's a crew of it is literally the crypto family. If you get
it is a crypto family, but to God be the glory. It's nobody but God. And to be honest with you, I don't really I didn't want to start referring to myself as DeFi expert. I was just advisor. But then I started looking around, and I'm like, okay, these people who are calling themselves experts, they got into crypto right after a year after I did, and they're here, they got newsletters, they're giving advice, they got their whole 9 yards telling everybody what to do. I'm like, yo, listen, y'all got here before I did. I mean, after I did. So how you an expert? I'm be the expert now.
You know what? I don't blame you. I don't blame you, because I see it myself, and it's true. A lot of people claim that to be experts. I guess you've got to kind of back it up by what you're doing and how long you've been in. So what makes, let me ask you a question. What do you think makes you credible, or makes somebody credible? But don't base it on yourself. What makes somebody credible in a space to you? Is it what's in their wallet, or is it down to the length of time, how involved they're within the community, to their knowledge, to what content they're putting out? What would you say makes someone credible?
I've seen that some people who actually came in 2021, right, when like April, some of them went really deep into crypto, and like someone like Zinica, I didn't know that he got into NFTs last year, like around April. I thought he's been doing this for years. So he got into the space. He went really deep. He got his knowledge level into crypto well. Someone like, Digital Art Chick, she's very good, well-versed. She knows the space, more than most females that I know. So I don't think it has to do with length of time. I used to think it has to do with length of time, but I think the passion that someone has for the space and how much time they put in it and learn this space, because they can come in, do something successful, send out a few tweets, and everybody says, yeah, you know what, that's an expert.
Yeah, it's funny. I think that I just thought it's a good question to ask on yourself, because I think it is because things can go viral, so people can get popular real quick. So yeah, it's like I think, and I'm asking not more for myself, but more so for anybody that's entering a space, for looking for people that are credible, because that's something. For example, NFT Talks, myself, what we've set out to do is kind of put content out there and be around and connect and bring value to the community and people entering the space. Like having people like yourself on is going to be of value to the NFT community and people onboarding, so they can connect to you. So and somewhere they can trust, because you're visible, you're here, you're active, you're speaking, you don't hide behind any curtains or anything like that. You're out
not
here.
on the avatar. No, I was.
So,
I'm not unknown.
yeah. So that's I think that's also important, showing your face. So people got somebody they can relate and say, okay, that's CryptoMom, and so on. That was the case when you went to the event, wasn't it? When people started seeing you, and
yeah, when they saw me, and usually like I don't use avatars. I use my face. So they see a person of color, and she's, they don't see a lot. And by the way, there's so many impersonators on Twitter. It's crazy. It's crazy how many people think CryptoMom is coming people. I'm not. There's impersonators on Twitter pretending to be me. That's not me. But yeah. So when people started reaching out to me, and they were like, oh, we love to hear you, and to hear from you and your daughters. Like, how did you guys just decide you want to be a crypto family? We didn't even plan for it to be a crypto family. Like, Imani was supposed to go to college. She graduated May 2020, and she saw how well her sister was doing, and she's like, Mom, I think I'll take a leap year. So the leap year ended up being, oh, Mom, I think I'm going to do crypto full time. So
wow. So shout out to your daughters, man. I know that they're doing amazing things. Obviously, they're helped to get you into the space, and now you're working together, which I think is amazing. So just touch on, I know they're not obviously on the podcast, but touch on what they're doing and the kind of things they're doing at the moment.
Cynthia and so both of them are advising the projects we're advising. Right now, we're obviously on a project that a lot of they were 2 years ago, they would never have thought I would be advising on board dealers, because I don't smoke weed,
I've seen that.
Yeah. So they were like, Mom, just because you don't smoke weed doesn't mean you don't understand, the utility behind it. And they were telling me, there's, how the utility behind the social causes of how they are using the, 20% for legal funds for the people who are incarcerated because of, of obviously weed offenses that, and in certain states, weed is legal, and those people are still sitting in jail. So that spoke to me, and I was like, that's really, we really need to showcase that they're doing that. So yeah, I got on the project, and they got so excited.
What is it that a project has to have to get you on board? Like what is it? What kind of projects do you look out for? Like, is it something does it have to have a certain?
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, it's usually the founders. I vibe, if I vibe well with the founders, and if I know they have utility, I'm going to. I've turned down so many in the last month though, but it's usually the utility behind it. And a lot of people are like, well, when Bored Apes came by, they didn't have any utility, or Mutant Apes, there was no utility. The utility came after the fact. But I like, if you see Boss Beauties, I like what Lisa had been doing for the past 9 years. She had my social canvas, and she was helping women bring more young women into tech and women and weapons. Sarah, when she reached out to me, I mean, you gotta love Sarah. If you meet her, she's very lovable. And we just started laughing when she told me she's in Dallas, Texas. I'm like, man, you're only 4 hours away. I can drive to you. We can just chill and have fun. So I vibed really well with them. And then even Yes, I Believe was, bringing young people into tech. I had met the founder in Miami during BTC conference. So the projects and even the ones that we have now, like Board Dealers, Rasta, the founder, we vibed really well on Twitter Spaces. The next one is members of the Metaverse, and that one's going to be really big. We have a few big names involved in that one. So usually it's the vibe, honestly. It's just even the pageants. I did help the pageants. That was actually I look, and a lot of founders are like, well, we're just as chill as the founders that you're talking to, but why are you saying no to our projects? I'm so stretched out this summer. I have
don't take it personal.
Yeah, I have projects all the way to 2022 December. Honestly, I'm really busy.
Now, I believe that. I mean, like I said, we spoke last year. We're just getting on the podcast.
Yeah.
So,
and Sean, that went by so fast. Can you believe? Was it like October?
Yeah, it was. No, I think it was October. We spoke.
Wow, yeah. I mean, that went by quick.
It went quick. So, do you only work with PFP projects then? Like, or is it? Are you working on anything else rather than like maybe? Obviously, I know that your daughter's got the digital fashion background, music NFTs, sporting entertainment NFTs. Are you getting into that?
So I'm actually an owner of a DeFi project, and that came about October of last year also. So Bundles Bets, crypto sports trading, crypto sports betting platform. And a lot of people are like, okay, so now DeFi. So I was an investor in that project. The founder is a very good friend, and he was doing very well with NFTs. He just decided, you know what, I'm going to focus on NFTs, and I'm going to be, having you take over this project. And we did everything we had to do to, switch ownership, and I took over the project. So right now the girls they are actually focusing on what we're doing, advising projects and marketing for other projects.
Yeah.
And they're also helping with, the project that we own right now, which is the crypto, it's a DeFi and DeFi. It's both sports and crypto betting.
So it's got NFTs it's got NFT integration though, hasn't it? So is that right? You're going to integrate NFTs into
We will eventually, yeah. So one thing I've noticed is that there wasn't too many sports betting. I didn't even know that there was any when we got the project. It was just crypto. It was just crypto prediction. We were just doing crypto prediction. And then, at that point, people are like, we need something with more fire. And then I was talking to a friend, Joseph, who's been my business partner, and Dan, and he's a former professional poker player. So he brought
Dan
this.
Who?
Huh?
A famous poker player.
He's a former professional. No, not me.
Oh, it's not. Is he a famous one? Is a famous one, Dan?
Oh, is he he wasn't. I wouldn't say famous, but
okay,
he was,
okay. All right.
But he played professionally for a while. He still plays on and off. And he brought the idea to me, and he's like, why don't we turn this into a sports betting platform and incorporate all kinds of sports, cricket, soccer, NBA, NFL. And when we told the community, man, that token flew from $5 to like $40 in it went by so fast. They were so hyped. So we started building. We got the same devs that build Blocktopia, Sin City. We got them to work. We're like, hey, we're ready to launch. So the pool should be ready by February. I was hoping before Super Bowl, so that we can be up and running.
Yeah, man. Like I said, there's a lot of especially around sports and entertainment. You've seen all like the crypto.com and Binance and all these companies.
Oh yeah.
Getting around these.
It's gonna be big.
How do we that they did the I think what's Galatasaray Cup finals and whatnot, and they are on the board, so they're advertising and people are starting to see it now. And I think obviously that's going to be a perfect opening for yourself, isn't it? Kind of take it.
And actually, when you mentioned Galatasaray, my daughter got that offer to do their marketing last year because she knows the Capital Sports, she knows team.
Okay.
and when he looked at the projects we were working with, he's like, oh man, y'all are so busy. I don't think you'll have time to do this because it needed a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that they incorporated NFTs and they're into crypto. I just think a lot more teams are gonna, especially when Tom Brady partnered with FTX.
Yeah, it's Autograph, is it called? Is that the platform's called? Is that
You
what?
know, that's what that's what the platform's called.
Yeah, I think so. I'm sure it is. Yeah, Tom Brady, and that's to do with sporting and NFTs, isn't it? And the signing of signing like collectibles, almost like.
I don't know if it's collectibles, but I just know he's an investor. He became one of their main investors in that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, along with obviously you're doing so much things, what would you, obviously you've helped with NFT projects now, advice wise, just on what kind of projects are out there now that you would recommend people to get, not financial advice, just a little
Nah,
just a little.
I like how you say that. Just a little.
Not financial, but just a little.
Just a little. These are projects that I have my eyes on. It's going to be the first options trading platform. That one's going to launch this quarter on Avalanche. Arrow Markets is the name on Twitter, and there's no one. The Telegram is only about maybe less than 1,000 people, but I think that one's going to do really well. I know some big time big names invested in that one for seed round A. So I think they have a pre-sale coming up soon. They'll announce it on their Twitter. Another one that I'm looking at, and I'm actually partnered with, so I may be a little bit biased, is TCG Coin. I think it's TCG2 on CoinGecko. Now they're building a metaverse, and I think theirs is going to rival Decentralized or even Sandbox. But they have some really cool. I like how they're building the metaverse. Looks really, really cool. I even own a residence in that one as well.
Is there any NFT projects, or like maybe PFP projects that you're looking into, or you not even you're looking into, just say that you've seen doing great, you think, look, that I think they're doing great things?
Oh yeah, obviously I'm gonna say obviously Board Dealers is launching this Saturday, but I know Women in Weapons is doing really good things, and I know I'm on the team, so I'm obviously, again,
keeps everything in close. You're not recommending.
Yeah.
Is there any projects that you're not involved with that you can say
exactly. that? Yeah. So Boss Beauties is doing cool stuff. Which I think honestly, I think Board Dealers is going to be kind of blown up like Board 8. Maybe I'm oversaying this, but that project is going to do really well. I'm so sure it will do well, because they have very good utility, and that aspect of in real life utility of the weed industry is untapped. So they're going to do really well.
Are you able to talk a little bit about it, about the utility? Are you able to talk about it now, or can you too much? Is it?
So I think, so the utility to kind
of give people an idea what the project is about, because I know I thought we've kind of touched on it and not said enough about it. So there's anyone that's kind of listening and thinking, well, I want to know what is it about? Why is it going to be
tell them to just invest in the NFT like they did Board, like the board. We didn't even care what Board Apes was doing. Well, what are they going to show us? We just know we're going to go on a yacht. We're going to go on a yacht, right? I'm going to buy it because we're going to go on a yacht. Yeah. But Board Dealers, I know they'll have some, and this is obviously for the people who are into smoking. I know they get 20% at all dispensaries anywhere in the world. I know they have it delivered. I know they just acquired 15 acres in Sacramento. They're going to offer jobs to people who are coming. Sometimes people get out of jail and their records are messed up and they can't get jobs. They're going to offer jobs. They're going to have jobs as growers. So I know he has actually secured the 15 acres. 5 has been already paid for up front.
Wow.
So he flew down from Dubai. He's just he landed into LA, the founder. Rasta, he goes by Ghost DeFi. This guy is done so well in DeFi. Yeah. And that's the name Ghost DeFi. But Ghost DeFi, he used to be one of the top 10 investors in a lot of DeFi projects. He was one of the top investors in Hex. He did so well in Hex. He's made good money. He's a smart guy, smart guy. So he knows what he's doing with the Board Dealers. He has a lot of things secured for the project. I'm very, very bullish on that one.
That's what I'm really interested in now. I think this year we're going to get a lot of people that are coming from a business background and creating projects in this space, which is going to be really interesting. How is it going to work? Because I think they're going to there's some things that projects that are being created like last year that it just kind of creating a concept but could not deliver. Whereas there's credible people entering the space now that are able to deliver on what they're saying. But
for real.
But are they going to connect with the community? Like, I think that's the balance. Like,
there's still a disconnect. Yeah. Yeah. And to be honest, okay, so last year I saw some very successful Web 2 people come into Web 3. I'm going to say one example is Divine Anarchy. He's done so well in social media marketing. Young kid, I would say young. To me, anybody that's my daughter's age is young kid. I mean, they are very successful multi-millionaires. So he came in and did Divine Anarchy, and it's doing well. I mean, the floor price is doing well. Came from Web 2 and had to learn everything about Web 3. So he found out that Web 3 needs more community. You gotta be engaged. You gotta stay with the community. You gotta be on all social media. Network effects was so important, because guess what? The people that keep your floor price up are those, the community. So yeah, he's one example that did well, but I know there are many more who are looking and eyeing the space from a Web 2 angle coming into Web 3.
Okay, so what do you feel this year is going to bring for the NFT space in regards to different industries? Obviously we've been very focused on art. It's been driven by art, a lot of it, whether it's PFP projects or just actual digital art. But obviously there is the different aspect. What we touched on is entertainment, sports, music, ticketing, gaming, digital fashion, data, health sector. Like, what do you think is going to be the next big thing, or what are you excited about more so?
I think real estate is going to be the next big thing. Obviously, we know that music, it's going to disrupt music. I have a friend who's also, again, very successful, been successful in DeFi, made really good money in DeFi, and now he's doing music NFTs. So a lot of rappers or a lot of musicians that have reached out to my daughter and I for advice, they don't understand this NFT thing, how they can get out. So we're explaining to them that it's just you getting rid of the middleman. And a lot of these record companies are going to go out of business because people are going to open their eyes to, why do I need a record company? And I can just go straight to the consumer. So you know what I'm saying? It's very eye-opening for a lot of industries. The one that I'm really excited about is real estate, because real estate is so behind on everything and they're slow to adapt to change. But I have noticed there's a project that's coming in and it's going to disrupt. It's going to blow them off and they're going to be surprised. Okay. They didn't see it coming.
When you say real estate, do you mean real estate in regards to digital real estate, like in the metaverse, or do you mean like fractional ownership, smart contracts in regards to mortgages, that kind of thing? NFTs in regards to owning a house?
Yeah. So no, not the digital. The digital metaverse, that's a done deal. That's booming already, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the beginning of the boom. So people can still get in and get their Ethereum towers or get their little apartments in Sandbox or Decentralized. The one I'm talking about is being able to get a mortgage in crypto. I mean, getting crypto and your title being on a blockchain.
Yeah,
that's
the thing is, that's how I explain to a lot of say people my age that own houses. That's what an NFT is. It's almost like it's a deed of a house, of a house. Instead of being land of registry, it's on the blockchain and it's transparent, and it's trustless, because we can, if you wanted to buy a house now with 3, 4, 5 other investors, you would want to have some kind of relationship with them and some trust before you could do that.
Yeah.
Doing it with an NFT, we'd have to fractionalize it. it kind of takes away that you can do it and you can trust it because you're going to have your piece and they can do whatever they want on their piece, which I think is great.
Yeah. And that's amazing because like if you see in real estate here, even on title, when I was working in when I had my mortgage company, we had to go research deeds. If you want to buy a house from me, I want to go back up to the 1900s, and I'm looking in these big old books. They just went digital maybe in the last 2 years to where now the title records are digital. Back when I was researching this in the 90s, in the early 2000s, everything was in a big old book, and it went back to the 1800s to make sure this is the succession of the owners. So now all this stuff is going to be on a blockchain. And I can, get you an NFT. This is the NFT showing you on the home, and that's it. And I also talked to one lady that's actually working on getting an OpenSea-like marketplace for real estate.
Okay. So it's like, so actually buying real estate in the real world, but it's on OpenSea. You sell it as an NFT on there, yeah?
Yeah, they're kind of making like a marketplace. Yeah.
A marketplace. Okay, sorry, yeah, a marketplace like OpenSea, like.
Yeah, okay. Like OpenSea, but for real, like, property owners that want to just sell their property on without the realtor, just on the,
I think it's going to take for that to happen. I think it's going to take for a building developer to build maybe have a plot of land and build houses on there and only sell them through NFTs.
Yeah, and
rather than individual houses. It's got to be an area that every house is owned by NFTs. Yeah.
No, I agree. There's and I was just talking to my daughter. My daughter's boyfriend's actually he's down there in London, and I was asking him, hey, I can't wait to buy a house and pay crypto, like just pay in Bitcoin and pay in Ethereum. Like, why do I have to put like 100,000 and try and figure out how I can move it in fiat? It's just a lot. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're buying a home if you want a home in like 500,000. So now you have to move your Ethereum into, it's just a lot. And he said, oh no, you know what, mom? They already have a company in LA that is accepting crypto, but you have to buy their homes. You have to buy this particular home that they're building. Yes. And that's the only way you can pay them in crypto.
Yes, so that would make sense. But it's funny that you're saying, like, coming from the banking industry, and you're asking questions that you may not have asked before. Now you've entered the decentralized space. You're like, why do I have to do this to buy this? And like, why do I have to do that when these are things we've been doing for years, but we've never questioned because it's just the way we do it. But now we've got other options and we see it. And I feel that's going to be the case for the masses when they actually understand of what you can do with crypto and how easy it is and the use cases. They're going to go, why have I been doing this for the last how many years?
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, why hasn't someone just started a company where you're like, okay, just give me your fiat and I'll give you Bitcoin and you can pay for this home. So I have 2 acres I'm looking at in my area, and I don't want to move that money to fiat, but I may have to just to buy it. That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's all in good time. So what is there any? Do you collect art? First of all, do you collect art?
Do I do what?
Collect NFT art? Do you collect anything? Do you have NFTs you collect?
The projects that I actually advise, I buy the art. Yes.
Okay, but you haven't got anything. You're not an art collector. Is it nothing? So obviously, is there anything out there that you're not involved with that you're collecting?
Not like my daughters. No. I'm still not a DJ that much. I'm still.
I thought you would have been involved. I thought you'd been very active in regards to collecting because you're around a lot of projects. You get approached by a lot of projects. So it's asking anything you're out there as a collector. So you don't really like. So why don't you? If you're so involved and you're doing this, why don't you?
Good. I knew that question was going to come, right?
I'm not trying to catch you out. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I get asked that. Sometimes I just laugh, but to me, a collector is someone like my friend who has 200, NFTs, and he looks for a next project and dropping on Drop Space or anywhere, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna get that. To me, that's a collector. Just and then also I'm not. So I don't know that I would be a collector. I would be more like a flipper.
Okay, cool.
Because
cool.
I don't know why I'm holding them for more than 6 months, unless it's on one I'm advising on, and I'll be advising on for a very long time. Otherwise, I'm just not. I'm not like, again, I'm not like my daughters. They like to collect.
So let me ask you a question. Do you see yourself in being in the metaverse and using the metaverse and putting these VR goggles on, or if we do VR and going into these spaces and spending lots of time, because you're in this world now, you're in this DJing world. You're saying you're not totally, but you're in this world, you're active, you're involved with projects. Now, as things go on, as we've been talking about, eventually we're going to be surrounding this immersive tech, and we're going to be in the metaverse. Are you going to be active in that? Are you going to be there? Is that something you're interested in? Or you're like, I'm not really. I still want to stay in the real world.
No, actually, I think there are times when I've seen what TCG World has done, and one of my neighbors in this metaverse is Wall Street Bets. Wall Street Bets, right?
Yeah.
And I saw his residence, and I saw how cool it is. And they told me, hey, this is going to be your residence next year. And I told my daughters, actually, I see myself spending time in my metaverse residence.
Are you looking to improve the house? Is that it? Are you in? Does it
I don't know.
Standard default house? You're going to improve it?
I may, but I think my husband may. My husband is one of those people that just watches from the sidelines sometimes. Yeah. But then when he sees I'm having fun, then he's like, okay, now I want to do it, and then he gets more involved than me. So I'm thinking metaverse, he's gonna go in deeper than I, and we're just gonna be like, okay. We both are going to find it fun. So, yeah.
You know what? As I'm asking that question, I'm getting scared myself, because I'm at home. My partner, she's always changing things in the house. And like, if we have a house in the metaverse, she's going to want to change things there and in the real world. It's going to be a headache. I'm thinking, I don't know if it's a good idea.
That's funny. You're like, no, I just don't need all this change in the metaverse. Just keep it the way it is and we're good.
The reason why I asked, because I spoke to, obviously, Kristo Kim, and she created the first digital house that sold for $500.
What was her name?
Kristo Kim. If you come across her, she's doing quite well in the space. She sold the first digital house for $500,000. It was called Mars's house. You come across it. So send
me her Twitter.
I'll send it over. I'll make sure I send it over. You've definitely probably come across her.
Probably, yeah.
But then, like I said, you can go and view that house and spend time in that house now. And I've got access to it the other day and whatnot. And I was really excited, because all this house was there and it was sold for this much money. And it was almost like, I almost got that feeling I was really going to an actual house, like I'd go into a mansion. That's the feeling I got. And I thought, hold on, it's all graphics, it's not real. But I still got that feeling just because it's that much. So it's interesting. It's really interesting that how involved you can get, even though it's not actually physically there.
I mean, I think it just reels you in, like buying NFTs. I think people who are collectors some of them are really addicted. I don't know if they know when to stop. That's how the metaverse is. I don't know that they know when to stop.
Maybe it could be a case. It is quite addictive. Okay, we'll touch on this just slightly. Mental health is one thing I do bring up a lot in the NFT space. I don't know if you see my posts. Mental health, stress, FOMO, anxiety. Whether from different areas. If you're entering the space, you see artists doing really well, selling, even if people you may know, and they're selling lots of stuff, and you're trying to get your art out there and you can't sell it. That can stress you out. Trying to get into these whitelists, these PFP projects, and you're not getting on the whitelist, and then they're selling out and you're not getting it at the mint price. That can stress you out. Like not being a part, seeing how well Bored Ape's done, and you knew you could have been a part of it, and you're like, if I just got that, can stress you out. Like there's so many things and everything's just fast paced, moving very fast. Sometimes I think you just got to kind of take a break, and like you've done is I feel like you've kind of focused on what you were doing, and that's why you haven't brought anything else. I will buy this because I'm investing my time in this, and you can't give your energy to everything, because you'll spread yourself too thin and you'll burn yourself out.
That is actually well said. I like how you say that. Yeah, because remember that when we go to sleep in the US, you guys are waking up, Australia is waking up,
Yeah.
Asia is waking up. So you're going to sleep thinking, well, what else is going to come about when I'm asleep? And
Yeah.
your mind's thinking, maybe I should have gotten that before Asia wakes up. So, so the best thing to do is just, there were times I was spreading myself too thin, and I was like, no. And even in DeFi is especially ever evolving, new tokens coming up every day. So I know people with 20 tokens, and I cannot be that person. I just need 2 or 3 that are doing well, or 4, and that's it. I've done 5 at one point, but I don't let it get to be too much, because then I lose track and I lose focus, and I want to keep up with everything. And yeah, no, at my age, I need to look cute. I'm not trying to stress out.
I can agree that's fine. I mean, that's fair advice. Just before we round it up, Brenda, what I want you to do is kind of, how would you explain to a friend of yours, and the reason I'm saying, like, how would you explain to my mom about to get into the NFT space? Because if I'm saying it, she's, look, you're younger than me, and whatever, I'm not getting involved. But how would you explain to my mom, so I can play it back to her and say, look, that the reason why she should look into this NFT?
Okay, so your mom would be probably my age mate, right?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I'm 36, so
I'm 36.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm 36. She might be older.
Look young, Sean.
Thank you.
So I would say, and I have people, my daughter's friends, telling me, hey, so and so's mom says reach out to them.
Okay.
So I would tell moms, especially, I mean, our girls, like I have girls, and they're leaving the house very soon. They've left, they've come back. Their boyfriends live in Europe, so they go visit and they leave me alone for 3-4 months. So I like what I do and I like working with them, but there are times that I need my brain to get energized with something that's going to keep me young. When they're not around, my brain needs to stay young. I want to do things that keep me going, that drive me, make me want to wake up excited. I still want to feel life is like I'm enjoying life like a 20 and 30-year-old, because sometimes we get older and we settle and we say, oh yeah, I'm 40, I'm 50, I can't do it. No, I think that just allows us to be complacent, to just be like, no, I'm good with that. But no, at 74, my dad learned how to download a digital wallet, how to get Ethereum.
Wow.
Even, his granddaughters walked him through it. And sometimes he just sits and looks at his Coinbase wallet, and I say, hey dad, send me your Ethereum address so I can send you some Ethereum. If my dad is 74 and he gets excited about stuff like that, he really wakes up excited. The only thing we tell him is not to touch any other stuff, because we don't even want him to get MetaMask, because there's scams in MetaMask. And my dad gets excited. He say, oh, somebody's trying to offer me this.
Oh yeah, and then
So we tell him, no, stay on this and don't look anywhere else. And if anybody DMs you, don't, and he's not even on Twitter, but he's able to get that digital asset. So I think staying young is good, and learning new things keeps us young, keeps us motivated, keeps us going. And I just think it's and if it can be passive income, why not try it?
I think that's a very important point. Staying young keeps you relevant and makes you feel like you've got some sort of value, because I feel like probably, you can base it on when the internet came around and social media came around. When it first came around, parents were like, oh, I don't know how to use that. I don't want to send an email. It's very like push back, where I think everyone just needs to embrace what's going on and get involved where they can. And I think we're at this early point of the NFT space, is what you can create whatever you're interested in. It's not just one thing. Like it isn't just saying, okay, it's just art. If you're interested in music, That's great. Let's do something there. If you're interested in fashion, let's do something there. If you're interested in taking photos, you still can do something there. I'm seeing NFT projects. I don't know if you've seen it of that. I don't know where he was from, but he took the selfies.
Oh, you mean the lady Irene Zhao? There's a one that went viral.
No, is it a lady? I thought.
There's a guy. There's a guy who did selfies, and the lady went viral. Her selfies are now 4 ETH.
That's crazy. Like, but then she just done something because she wanted to, and then just done it, and it turned out, and she's got great success from that. And that. I just think that's what you need to do at this point. Do something you enjoy, understand what it is, and just try it out. And things may go well. If it doesn't go well, what you got nothing to lose.
Exactly. and what do you have to lose? And for your mom, you know what? And that's what I did with my family. I gifted them. You gift them something. And let it sit in their wallet for 3-4 months, and then tell them, hey, look at what I sent you 3 months ago. And when they see the value, let them see the value when they get it, and let them see the value after they get it for 3-4 months. And they're like, well, that's how much I make a month. How did you do that? Like, I mean, you just bought me this one thing, and I made as much as I would make in a month. So that was eye-opening for my siblings. Like, wait a minute, my wallet just went up to $10,000. They don't see $10,000 from any, for the jobs they do. They obviously get this salary that's not anywhere close to that. So for them to see that much in their wallet, their eyes pop up even more. So I think for me, gifting NFTs to family members and friends is how to bring them in. And not even NFTs, just tokens, just sending them, hey, hold this token and and wait on it.
Okay, I think that's a good way to kind of round it off, is like to onboard people, because I think that's something very important. As well as we talk about exciting things, we need people to join. We want people to understand what it is. So education, onboarding people safely, and the most that you can start within your circle. And why not onboard your family? If you're an investor, if you're involved in NFTs, think about how you can get your family involved. So that's a good thought. I'm going to think about doing that for my mum and sending her an NFT so she can kind of see the growth, and then hopefully she can at least try and find an interest to look.
But get our board deal on Saturday.
Yeah,
that one's gonna go up.
Is she gonna say why you send me a weed NFT for?
I know. She's like, and I don't even like the way that guy looks.
I'm definitely gonna. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna check that out anyway. But one thing I like to round it off with is, I want to tap into your mind. I want you to visualize in the next, say 5 to 10 years, waking up in the morning, and how does the world look with NFTs involved and the metaverse? So you wake up in the morning, how's your day changed involving NFTs? I'm not just talking advising, I'm talking how everything is evolved, from fashion to tickets to metaverse, traveling to the metaverse, to jobs, to communicating.
So 10 years from now, I in most cases, we'll need NFTs to get into events. 100%. Definitely will need NFTs to get into events. The music industry is going to be selling NFTs, their songs in NFTs, of course, 10 years from now. A lot of these tokens that are on the blockchain now, the ones that the founders have done a good job on will be worth millions in 10 years. And I think the board apps will probably be, I mean, we know Bitcoin will be obviously doing well, crypto will be doing well, but NFTs, if you get one with good utility, oh my God, 10 years from now, you'll be really thankful. You'll be really thankful you did get in. And for us, for you, Sean, for me, the people who are early in the industry, I would say pioneers right now in the space. If you got in 2020 or even sooner, you'll definitely be an OG. But will be remembered for championing this cause of NFTs, and NFTs being just regular, just like the internet is now. Everybody has access to the internet. And in 10 years, everybody will have access to NFTs. A lot of us obviously will be, multi-millionaires, and will thank God we did get in when we did. Everybody else will be a multi-millionaire. I'll be a billionaire, but yeah.
I was gonna say that. I said you'd be a billionaire. So yeah, but that I love the attitude. I love the approach. Where can people find you and contact you, whether they want you to for advising or just want to follow you in regards to what content you're putting out?
Oh, okay, so my website should be up. It's misscryptomom.com should be up this Friday.
Okay.
And that's the reason I am going to push my website more is because when my story went viral, I didn't have a website, and I was just old school telling people, yeah, find me on Twitter. And then I realized all the scammers are on Twitter imitating me. And then on LinkedIn as well. And no, LinkedIn is good. It's just Instagram's crazy. Instagram is also Miss CryptoMom. And so anything else that is underscore or BrendaGentry.fx, those are all scams. So I'm going to probably send people more to my website, Miss CryptoMom. And when is this recording going to be live? We can sort it out. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so Friday it should be ready, and then we have a documentary coming out that should be on CBS, but I will let you know the dates. I don't know when it's gonna air, but I know they're shooting it this week. But it should be airing sometime in February. But Miss CryptoMom 1 on Twitter is the only Twitter I have. The only Twitter with over 35,000 followers is mine. Anything less than 35 is a scammer. Okay, cool. So watch out for them scammers. But there's only one CryptoMom. Thank you for coming on. That's so kind. So much value. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed speaking to you, and I think you're doing great things. You're going to continue to do great things with you and your family. Look forward to seeing the documentary. So obviously let me know when you guys have got that all solidified and whatnot. And yeah, just go follow and keep an eye on what CryptoMom's doing. Thank you everyone for listening and everyone for watching. Everyone stay listening and stay blessed. Thank you so much. Thank you.